Okay. Whew. Sorry I'm late, guys. Welcome into the stream. I had some very last-minute audio issues to take care of, which seem to have gotten rectified. And it seems as though all is well. Ooh. I was scrambling there. Hope everybody out there's doing well. I am glad to be back here, live with you guys. Last week I was on vacation, and so I am not glad to be back home. I'm not glad to be back to work, but I'm glad to be here, that's for sure. All right, we've got quite a mail call to go through here tonight. Got 2 weeks worth of stuff because I was gone. So we're gonna start in on this as we begin the stream. We're gonna start with a couple of packages here. We'll start with this one. I definitely did enjoy the trip, Dennis. It was a blast. I was up in the Thousand Islands for a week camping with a bunch of my friends, and it was some much needed relaxation, that's for sure. All right, so, oh yeah. Oh, interesting. Those did not. Oh man. I must have had some hidden stuff in this file that I sent because some of it did not print properly. Ah, that's a bummer. This is also all changed around, actually. I'll have to talk with Fusion Scale. But anyway, these are the graffiti decals that I had talked about a couple weeks ago on stream. I'm not sure what happened here, though, because there's all these random white boxes that are not supposed to be there, and a lot of the stuff is in different orientations. It looks like, so I ordered a quarter sheet, and I think his quarter is not the same dimensions as I used. I think he uses, I figured he was going to use just like a thin little like 2-inch strip of a quarter sheet, but he literally just used like, you know, if this is your 8x11 piece of paper, he used this half of it. So I'm gonna have to reorientate the decals and get that fixed, because that is not quite what I was looking for, unfortunately, which is my fault. I probably should have made sure that my dimensions were proper before I went ahead and ordered them. Oh well, but yeah, there's definitely some usable stuff on here for sure, and we're gonna use a little bit of it tonight too, so that'll be fun. Anyway, on to the next order. This one's fun, especially for Garrett, who's out there in the chat. I had to pick these up. I hope I'm the first one that bought them. I think I should be, because I bought them very quickly after the link was sent to me. But yeah, this is a very special set of decals that Garrett drew up and are now available for sale through Fusion Scale. He's got like a different site for people to sell decals on consignment that he prints. This is a set of RRPX locomotive decals that Garrett drew up. And yeah, Alex, who's out there in the chat, CHQ, these are for his locomotive. So I made sure I ordered the RRPX decal set that Garrett drew up, and then Alex is actually sending me up a what is it? An M636. Alex, is that what it is? But that's going to be on its way up to me here shortly, and then I'll be doing the patchwork for that to get it looking like one of the two. I think it's going to be 41 is what we said we were doing, Alex. But yeah, Garrett did this set. He did a fantastic job drawing these up. Everything looks pretty darn good, pretty darn crisp. Looks, I mean, you know, as a relative novice, it seems like everything's there. So, you know, all of the writings is about as crisp as you could ask it to be, that's for sure. Oh, my audio volume's a little bit low. Scott, let me know if anybody else feels the same way. Let me know, and I can boost it just a little bit still. But anyway, yeah. So this will be a fun project to work on for Alex. I wanted to make sure that I shouted out Garrett's decals. You can get them at Print It Decals, which is a division of Fusion Scale. He's got a bunch of other sets out there now. He's got this set for 41 and 43. He's got another one for 2 other RRPX patch out units. And then he's also got a bunch of Finger Lakes decals as well. So there's definitely a lot out there to be checked out for sure. All right, I just boosted the volume as far as I could. See if maybe the angle's a little off. All right, but yeah, so good news is that decal set printed out just fine, Garrett. So that's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna put these decals aside, and then we'll go into the next part of the unboxing. Actually, it's just this decal set I need to put aside. We'll be working with the not graffiti set of decals tonight for sure. So, all right, here's the next box. We're getting into the big ones now. and let me just say hi to everybody in the chat here, because I have been ignoring a little bit here. I apologize. But yeah, we've got our regulars out here, which I appreciate you all tuning in. Looks like we've got some new ones here too. Welcome in, Jay Bleeds Trains, Brandon, Dennis, glad to have you. John, glad to have you as well. Garrett, of course, is here, and hopefully he's happy with how we're repping his decals. Alex is here, glad to have you here, buddy. And looks like Denny made it in, Scott made it in. Welcome, guys. Happy to have you. That's for sure. Yeah, thanks to Paul Ponarelli for getting the dimensions for that RRPX set. I'm sure that'll be super helpful for everybody that wants this set. I know there's a lot of Winnie P modelers out there that are very excited for this set, so hopefully that set gets sold pretty darn well. Okay, so here's another, fun little impulse buy that I picked up last week. It popped up on eBay for super cheap, and I've been threatening to do one of these for a long, long time. This is just an undecorated U23B chassis. Oh, and sill's falling apart. Yeah, wow, I didn't even expect it to come with handrails and all the rest of the detail parts, but it did. Darren, welcome in to you as well, my friend. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. Okay. Yeah, so this is just an undecorated U23B shell. This is actually going to end up being a unit for the club, Genesee Society of Model Engineers. And yeah, Brandon, thanks for shouting out the Discord. Appreciate that. We have a ton of fun in there for anybody that's interested in hanging out with us. But yeah, so this is going to go into our clubs, Buffalo, Rochester, and Pennsylvania freelance scheme. I've been threatening to do one for the club for a really long time because I had multiple failed attempts at a U23B for the Finger Lakes. So I've got a ton of these U23, well, not a ton, I've got 2, maybe 3 U23B chassis just laying around. So this undecorated shell popped up for, I think it was, I think it was like $9, so super cheap. So I just said, yeah, you know what, I'll pick that up and I'll get to that project when I get to it. There's still plenty of projects left to complete before this one, for sure. So it's it's going to be a while before I get to it. And then the next thing I have here to open up is another impulse buy, which honestly, after today, when I picked up a bunch of stuff that I've been, you know, on the hunt for a really long time, I'm regretting this a little bit, but I think it's still going to be worthwhile to have long term. I'm a little nervous though, because when I set it down, I heard something roll around in this box, which scares me a lot. But this, once we have it out of the box, I'll tell you why I bought this, because it's very unconventional for me. And it really, I don't have any justification for owning this, which is why I sort of got a little bit of buyer's remorse, but the nostalgia just kind of hit, and I had to pick it up while I could. Alright, so it's a Kato SD38-2, and the buyer wanted, I think, like $130 for this thing, and he had the make an offer button there, so I lowballed the heck out of him. I put in an offer for $70, and I thought for sure there was no chance that the offer was going to get accepted, and he accepted it. So I had to explain to my wife that I had put in an offer on a train that I did not expect to actually get accepted. So whoops. But anyway, so it's an SD38, and what SD38 is it? This is going to be completely out of left field for pretty much everybody. And now I'm seeing why he accepted the offer. Well, this is Cumberland Mine SD38. So the story here, this SD38, the very first edition of Model Railroader magazine that I ever bought had an advertisement for this locomotive in it. And I just remember distinctly, I mean, I don't remember a single other thing about that edition of Model Railroader other than there being an advertisement for this locomotive. And I remember seeing this locomotive thinking, holy cow, that is a gorgeous paint scheme. And as a kid, just desperately wanting to have it. So I've had it as a saved eBay search for a long time now, just waiting for one to kind of pop up. And one finally did, so it's here. And I gotta say, I may need to reach out to this seller, and might not stay in my collection long because I am immensely disappointed. There's well, let me see if I can zoom in here. Yeah, that's true, Dennis. It wasn't out of left field for everybody on the Discord. I managed to spoil pretty much every purchase I make in there. They already know what's coming for like next week's live stream if we have one. So, but yeah, you can kind of see, this was not clear in the photos, but there is glue marks everywhere on this thing, which angers me a little bit because they were not visible in the photos of the locomotive. Yeah, they are all over this thing. And that's a bummer. Oh, loose windshield wiper too. Great. Oh, where did that even come from? I don't know. Well, if anybody's got a trick for getting what seems to be super glue off of a locomotive without damaging paint, let me know. But yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted this to just sit on a shelf. That's really all I wanted it for. I would have liked it to have been in a little bit nicer condition than this, though, in order to sit on a shelf. So I might have to see what I can do. I may be able to just kind of sand down a lot of these glue marks and repaint those particular areas. But yeah, this is really a little bit disappointing for sure. So, but yeah, I mean, now you guys can at least see it. This was like 10 to 12-year-old Paul's dream locomotive. I don't know why. This color scheme, this paint scheme was just absolutely gorgeous. I've come to learn a little bit about the Prototype Railroad, which this is from. There's actually a guy who works for them. He's kind of like the head of their maintenance away. He's on YouTube, and he's got a pretty good following. So I've been enjoying his videos. You know, it's a coal hauling short line, which is, I mean, I'm not very interested in coal hauling for the most part. Just not an industry that is of interest to me. But the cool thing about it is that it's an isolated railroad where they don't have a direct interchange with anybody. They literally just they offload all of their coal onto barges on the Allegheny River and then ship it across the river to Norfolk Southern to be put into their cars and shipped wherever it needs to go. So it's kind of an interesting thing that way. Again, coal's not really a huge interest of mine, but this locomotive paint scheme was 12-year-old Paul's dream locomotive, so I'm happy to have it, but not happy in the condition that it arrived in, that's for sure. That's the risk you run on eBay for sure. I'll have to contact the seller and see if there's anything that can be done, just because this is not as described. It was described as good condition and operational, which I don't doubt that it's operational, but it's definitely not good condition with all these glue marks, so I have to see what I can do. Glue Buster, okay. All right, Adam, I'll see if I can get a hold of some of that, and we'll see. So, Adam, that doesn't necessarily damage paint underneath the glue. Yeah, they do. They do their own little thing, right, Dennis? Okay, so what do we want to work on first tonight? We've got two things that I want to work on. Actually, I know which one I want to work on first. We're going to do a little bit of work on the freelance locomotive itself, which I need to put gloves on for. Ooh, I'm low on gloves. My wife's gonna give me a big "I told you so." We were at Harbor Freight last night, and she walked up to me with a box of nitrate gloves. Said, "Do you need these at home?" And I said, "I'm not sure, but I'll just come back and get them if I don't." This box is almost empty. So it's a nice "I told you so" for her when I let her know that I now need more nitrate gloves, of course. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna move around the zoom a little bit here. Probably gonna go back out to. I don't know why my. Apologies for the moving around here. Okay, so what do we have to do on the freelance locomotive tonight? Well, we've got two things to do. The first of which is I finally have a sand filler hatch to go on the nose. I'm gonna end up zooming in a little bit more here. Make sure I put it in a place where I'm liable to actually be in frame. So I could not find the sand filler hatches that came with the locomotive for some reason. So I had to order more. So I've got those painted up and ready to go. So we're gonna throw one of those on tonight. The other thing that I have to put on is, to work on, excuse me, is the ditch lights themselves. We're now on our third set of ditch lights for this thing. The first set broke on me because I was doing something stupid. The second set ended up being kind of just not a good fit for this pilot. There's kind of limited space on the pilot, so I found some smaller form factor ones. And now we're on our third set that have now been painted, but I need to get LEDs mounted inside of them and get all of that kind of taken care of. Tom and Fan of Trains, welcome into the stream. Happy to have you guys here. I think I said hi to Adam, but thanks for the tips on the glue remover and everything. I'll definitely be sure to check that out. Okay, so yeah, so let's get one of these sand filler hatches on. I just need to find, what did I do with my super glue here? There it is. Had it over on the wheelie workbench, working on the Fremo modules. I almost decided I was going to work on those tonight, but I decided it was a good night to get back to the workbench and not necessarily do that, because the work that I need to do over there is stuff that I've never done before, so it's kind of like an uncharted territory situation. Okay, hopefully this is going to fit in here without me doing too much. And it is beautiful. Okay, let me apply a little bit of super glue. Let's see. Need an applicator here. Oh, this piece of brass rod will work. It's probably a little bit too heavy of an application. Oh boy. Here we go, making a mess of things. I've also got the class lights already mounted in here, just making things a little bit more difficult than they need to be, but there we go. Okay, sand filler hatch. Ooh. Not as good of a fit as... There we go. Beautiful. Alright, that is now snugged down in there. You guys might have even heard it click. Let's see, they're in like Tennessee somewhere, Dennis, and I think it usually takes them like 3 or 4 days to get to me, so. Okay, so that's good. Next step is going to be getting LEDs, or at least starting the process of getting LEDs into these ditch light housings. And I've got these lenses here, which I don't know. I may need to use something smaller. I think, yes, I do. Okay, so I need to use the Details West lenses. We've got 2 out over here. Man, I thought I had plenty of these little lenses on hand. I ordered so many of them, and I'm still just blowing right through them with all these projects. Got a whole nother project on the way, which you guys will find out about next week, unless you want to join the Discord. Alright, where are these lenses? I'm opening up a brand new package of them here somewhere. Are they in the LEDs? Yeah, that's a tough call, Dennis. I don't know if they'll be here in time or not. I would hope so. If you already got the notification they shipped, I would hope, you know, you might have them a day or two in advance, but definitely not a guarantee with them. Okay, so we've got our LEDs here. The nice thing, though, is because I ordered new housings, I went ahead and splurged and got a second set of housings so that I can actually put rear ditch lights on this as well. I did not originally intend to have rear ditch lights on this locomotive, but I thought, you know what? When in Rome. So I'm pulling out enough ditch lights to work, or to get these housings glued. That's about all I'm going to be able to do on the locomotive tonight. I'm really hoping that in some sort of upcoming stream we're going to be able to wrap this thing up, because it's been on the workbench for far too long. It's nearly complete. I mean, the decoder's in, the speakers on there. It's really just a matter of finishing up this wiring and putting it all together, and then it'll be done, which I'm very much looking forward to having done for sure. Take it easy, John. Have a good night. I think you're headed off to work is what's normally the case, so good luck at work. Clean up those lenses. I'm not sure how well you guys are going to be able to see these lenses. I've got the camera zoomed in as far as it'll go, but sometimes that's still not far enough. And then, as per usual, just touch the LED to the back of the lens and set it aside someplace safe to dry. Oh, and of course it shifted. Come on. One second, guys, sorry. Okay, let's try over here. Let's see if it'll stay without shifting. Okay, beautiful. All right, so something else funny. Well, do what you got to do, Dennis. That's for sure. Speaking of Dennis, so Dennis, Dennis gave me a sticker for his freelance at Springfield. I thought I lost the sticker, so when I saw Dennis again at Ops Till You Drop, I had him give me another sticker. And when I went to go put that second sticker in my wallet, I found the first one because it had been in my wallet the whole time. And the other day, I finally cleaned out my wallet because I got a new one. So one of Dennis's stickers is officially with the rest of my sticker collection, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one just yet. But the good news is, Dennis, your sticker finally made it on my sticker shelf. It only took like 6 months, so that's good. Alright, let's see if we can get this one to go a little bit smoother than the last one. Came up okay. See if I can safely get it to a position where it'll dry without shifting. Nope, I can't. Of course not. Why would I? Oh, not only did it shift, but I might take the other one out with it. Oh! I jostled it so much it shifted back into place. Happy accidents. Okay, 2 more to go here. This is tedious work. That's for sure. But we're going to have some fun doing some decaling once this is done. Can't ever have enough stickers, that's for sure, Adam. For sure. Oh, speaking of which, I actually need to order one of those scale rulers still. I need to get a scale first. I was just talking to Dennis about this earlier in Discord. I need to get a scale so that I can properly weight things. I need to get an N scale one and an HO one, so I will. I'll be sure to get those ordered from you soon. I'm sure, Adam. I spent way too much money on trains today, though, so I'm trying to take it easy now because I spent a lot of money today. 2 cars came up that that I've had a saved search for on eBay for a couple of months, and it's the first time they've come up. And they came up for a really good price. Intermountain 4750s, Pullman Standard 4750 covered hoppers, and they came up for like $22 a piece. So I had to get those, and I was thinking to myself, well, what else does this seller have that I could use? And sure enough, they had, well, I won't spoil it. You'll have to tune into next week's live stream. But they had a certain locomotive I've been shopping for as well for a very good deal. So I picked that up as well and spent a whole bunch of money in the process. So it's really really time to start pacing myself after that impulse buy of the SD38. All right, so I'm going to set the freelance locomotive to the side here just so that I'm not getting anything mixed up. Okay. I can't wait to get that thing done and running. I'm hoping I've got it all up and running before the Fremo meet down in Sydney. But priority one, other than, I mean, basically all of my workbench time, my modeling time these days is, you know, other than Talkin Trains live streams, is focused on those Fremo modules and trying like heck to get those done for Sydney. So, okay, so the rest of tonight's stream, we're going to be working on decaling these freelance covered hoppers. I've got the freelance decals for them here. We're probably gonna have some fun. I'll open it up to you guys. I haven't put together a plan at all for what number series these things are gonna be. I've got, you know, an even amount of every number in there, so, you know, I'll open it up. I mean, what's everybody think we should do for a numbering series? These are a 4750, Magor 4750 covered hopper. If that helps, I mean, I could go with a 4700 numbering series, maybe. That would make sense. But let me know what you guys think. I'm gonna go fill up my my water bowl here real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so Garrett says 47,000 series, which we could definitely do. 47.5 series. Okay. I can definitely do that. Oh, my wife just got home from grocery shopping, so the dogs are barking. Let's see. So personally, I was debating doing a 4-digit number, just because it's a short line, and you know the amount of cars in this fleet is not necessarily supposed to be absolutely massive. But the 5-digit could work for sure. Yeah, Pup's excited for Mom to be home from the grocery store. All right, now that we're working on something a little bit bigger here, I'm gonna zoom back out a little bit. Okay, so we want to do a 47. Yeah. Okay, let's do it. We'll do 47. Yeah, 47. 4-digit numbers, I think, is what I want to roll with. But let's start. Yeah, let's just start by getting some reporting marks on the cars. And then I have to decide the location of the decal as well, the logo decal. Yeah, this is going to be fun to do 47 series because I'm going to do... 7 is one of my favorite numbers, and I printed double decals of the 7s. So I'm going to do... I think the first car I'm going to do is 4777. I haven't seen Rick tonight, Darren. I haven't seen Tim tonight either. I wonder if either of them are out there tonight. Hope they're doing good either way. So there's my double 7s. And then I just need a 4 and a 7. Oh, I think I goofed up on the reporting mark. I needed to split it in half because it's not going to fit between the ribs. Whoops. 4. And I just need one more 7 here. I actually still need to address the end numbers. I never got those removed, so I think I'm just going to patch those. Let's see if I can get away with... I don't think I'm going to be able to, but we're going to try. Oh, maybe I got away with it. Let's see. I think I did. Wow. That's crazy. All right, so question is, where do we want to put this? I think somewhere around here should be fine. Oop. Hopefully my head's not getting in the way. I just bumped the camera. So again, for anybody that's maybe new tuning in, these are for my freelance, the Genesee, Wyoming Transportation Company, which is based in Batavia, New York, much like the real-life Genesee Valley Transportation. The part that we're freelancing is that they still have a line that connects them with Genesee and Wyoming, the salt hauler. It comes up out of Retzoff, New York, carrying tons and tons of salt. I mean, they must supply, half the Northeast with salt. Maybe more than just the Northeast with salt. So the story is that, they're kind of merged with Genesee and Wyoming. And because they merged with Genesee and Wyoming early in their life, the G&W we know today, that's the Orange Borg, doesn't exist. So, save the world from that. That's cool. But yeah, that's kind of the story. But these are the freelance salt cars, the company-owned salt cars that I'm using, kind of in their as the unit salt train would use, basically. So these are Magor 4750 covered hoppers, and Magor 4750s, for anybody that doesn't know, are actually aluminum sided, which makes them pretty good for salt service, and honestly, most of the time surprises me that they didn't sell better for that sort of application. Isn't that the right orientation? Yep, that's the right orientation for this 4. But the railroad, the Genesee, Wyoming Transportation, takes heavy influence in their kind of designs from New York Central and Erie. because that's the two fallen flags that kind of make up the territory that the railroad runs. Oh, come on. 7 decal folded over on me. I may need to get a new one out. I think we're abandoning that 7. Actually, I don't need these gloves on necessarily for this work. Hey Ray, welcome in. Glad to hear you're in town. Hope your trip back from Nebraska went well. Listened to the kind of recap today as I worked. Some cool stuff. I didn't know that microengineering had been sold. So it was kind of cool hearing you talk to the new owners of that company. Always glad to hear that a storied model railroading company is in good hands for the long haul. Oh, this 7 folded over too. They just don't like to behave themselves. There we go. Lightning strikes for all the Gevos. Steak with plastic utensils. That's a struggle in and of itself. Yeah, that 7's still folded over. Am I really gonna have to? I'm gonna have to pull a whole nother 7 out of the set because this thing is not cooperating. Maybe I got it. Nope, it still doesn't look right. Yeah, maybe it does. Alright, so let's get these in the position we want them in. Pretty happy with that. Let's get the logo on there, and then we'll start talking a little bit about these graffiti decals as well. So Ray, the next time you're in town, we'll have to coordinate and see if we can get you over here to check out the layout or something. This week I'm got a short week of work, and then I'm headed for a baseball game. So I don't have a ton of time this week, but you know, short notice for you too. I'm sure you got other stuff going on anyway, but love to have you over at some point next time you're in the area. Got to show you my Corning secondary. That's cool. So far, I'm enjoying working with Fusion decals. You know, that's what all of these are. I must have, well, I did goof up this order of graffiti decals that I put through with them. myself that I now have to work around, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so I'm thinking the logo decal, I thought I made it narrow enough to fit in between these ribs, but it's not gonna fit there, so I think it's gonna go. I'm not really super happy with that. I think I'll make it work though, because I honestly, well, I could put it up here. Let's see what it looks like over there. Oh, Rick is out there. Hey, Rick. And yeah, right. Yeah, definitely. Let me know when you're coming this way again, and we'll get something coordinated. I don't. Do you usually travel in the night before, or do you travel in on a Monday when you're on the road? What do you guys think? Zoom in on this. Shades of the can opener. That's cool. I like that. All right, let me zoom in here. We'll get a final look at it. What do you guys think? Thumbs up on that? I think I like the corner better. This whole side of the car is kind of bare for sure. Hey Joey, welcome in. Gotcha, Ray, gotcha. Fill out some paperwork. All right, we're gonna roll with the corner then. I think I like that too. So let's talk about these graffiti patches though, because I'm pretty excited about these. I think that this is an area of freelancing that, to my knowledge, really hasn't been explored too much. So I'm excited to explore it. The story is that Genesee, Wyoming Transportation has a local tagger that keeps defacing their cars, and his tag is not graffiti, which obviously, some of them look borderline like they are, a patch put there by the railroad, and some of them look like this hot pink one, a little bit like they really are graffiti. So, yeah, it's I think it's a fun way to kind of, tag other cars to show that they've been to my property. Like the Farland Terminal car, when I get this weathered, I'll likely have a not graffiti patch on that, just to kind of show that, it's a car that visited the transload on my freelance, and this nefarious tagger who curiously has paint that looks an awful lot like Erie Gray Green. Has had a chance to hit the car. So, I just think it's a cool area of freelancing that hasn't really been explored, because it allows people with freelance cars to say, hey, this car has visited the Genesee, Wyoming Transportation, and that because that's their local tagger. And if everybody else was able to come up with like a local tagger that hit their cars I could put that on a Genesee, Wyoming transportation car as well to show, hey, this is where that car traveled to at one point in time, in order to offload salt or something like that. So I think it's pretty cool, pretty unique, and something worth exploring for sure. So now the question is which of these not graffitis I want to add to this particular car. One of these is going to get the hot pink, not graffiti. I'm not sure which one, but one of them will. And this one, I think I just want to do like one of the subtle ones that looks like it's a railroad patch. So we're going to try to get this one out. And I won't ultimately have every single car have this tag on it, just because that would be a lot. But I think maybe, I don't know, the home fleet, probably half the cars will have a not graffiti tag on them. And, you know, of the other home shops cars that I get, you know, some of them might get one as well. It'll probably be closer to like a third of those cars that'll end up having one. But these should be narrow enough that I can actually squeeze them into smaller areas like this, which is good. Yeah, awesome. Joey, that would be cool because I mean you could have some fun on those Salt City cars too, and you know if you were to come up with one, you know, being that we have already planned on our railroads interchanging, I would love to put some local taggers work on some of my cars for sure, and vice versa if you were interested in having some of these not graffiti decals as well. Okay, so this side A of this car is pretty much good. We're gonna flip it over and work on this side. Just get it all the way done before we move on to the next one. What time have we got? 8:25. All right. So hopefully we'll be able to get this process pretty well underway tonight. I would love to get all of the decals on tonight, time permitting. But yeah, the other thing with these that I thought was kind of fun is by going with an eerie gray-green background, kind of makes you raise an eyebrow like, was this like a you know, Herbie situation, or who was the other guy? Bozo Texino, who they were actually like railroad employees that were tagging cars, but that eerie gray-green is like, was it the same person that patched out all of this other graffiti, the same one that put on these not graffiti decals? It's just kind of meant to make you think about that a little bit. These are all great ideas, yeah. Salty, pepper, NA, all of those would be awesome. Joey, I don't know if you would know, but there was actually a locomotive in Thomas the Tank Engine named Salty. That you know, you could have somebody, you know, adapt his face onto the cars, you know, something like that. I don't know. Plenty of options with a railroad name like Salt City, that's for sure. Are which the right size to fix the Atlas cars, Ray? Ray, are you talking about the decal set that Garrett made for the Finger Lakes cars? Finger Lakes box cars? Because those should be the right size if that's what you're asking. And he did the updated reporting marks as well, which is very convenient. Oh, we decided that's not where we were putting those. Whoops. These decals are definitely awfully thin. Struggling to get them to behave properly. There we go. Hey Jeff, welcome in. Oh, Garrett, did you send the link for that? I might have missed that. Ah, gotcha. Joey. Well, still excited to see those. It's going to be really, really cool. Oh boy. Definitely struggling a little bit to get these to behave, these fusion scale decals. They are awfully thin. The corner of this TX folded up on me, and I know it's going to give me a problem down the line if I don't address it now. Maybe it didn't fold up, because now I don't see it at all. Maybe it really isn't there. Well, I'll have to rework it if not. Oh, I don't know, Joey. Jeff, that you should be working on the Jurassic Park Jeep then if you've got a dinosaur theme going on. Be cool to see one of those in N or HO or O, whichever one it is. that you're working on it for. All right, home stretch on 4777 here. All right, just make sure that those look straight. Not bad. Okay, I think I want to worry about getting the patches done on the ends of these cars while I've got this out, and I've got the patches right here for it, so get that done at least. Alright. Hopefully, yeah, these should be big enough. Oh, I'm cutting into numbers now on accident, dang it. Yeah, that's a bummer about the heart being in the wrong location there, that's for sure. Don't know how you solve that other than making it just go away completely, because I mean, sometimes people use it, but I don't think it gets used much. Yeah, I didn't, you know, Dennis, I hadn't really thought about these being kind of can opener-esque, but now that you mentioned it, I see it and I dig it. I like the idea that they're kind of can opener-y. The Central actually did have some 4785 cubic foot covered hoppers that ended up with Conrail that actually had very similar schemes before they ended up in the can opener one. So works out well. Does that look okay? Yep. I think I got my 4s just not quite right on this. Okay, cool. I'm gonna get an initial coat of Microsol on this car, and then we'll set it aside and move on to the next one here. Thanks, Joey, for using it. Okay. Good there. Okay, Microsol is on. Now, I think the car I want to roll with next is this one. Gotta come up with another number for this one. So 4700 series. What do we want this one to be? $47. $47.85. We could do the class unit car and just go $47.50. Okay, that was rude, Dennis. You don't need to remind me of that. Joey, we just did $47.77, my friend. yeah, there we go, Dennis. No, I think I'm gonna do $47.50 as like the class quote unquote car. 35 is a good choice. I think the lowest I want to go is 50. Joey, yeah. I like sevens. I thought the 777s was a fun car to do, so that one's done. It's a little bit immature, but I think I'm gonna do $47.69 for one of them. I know that sort of comedy isn't everybody's cup of tea, but I'm a little bit immature in some ways, so that's probably gonna be one of them, and then I think $47.50 is gonna be the other one. So we'll do $47.50 for this one. Let's save my double numbers. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not doing $47.50. I sent the wrong decal sheet in. Son of a gun. I noticed halfway through making this decal sheet that I didn't have any zeros on the sheet, and it looks like I did not send the revised sheet in because there's still no zeros on this sheet. Yeah, that's cool. That's true, Joey. I guess I can be as immature as I want to be. Well, I guess we'll just do that car next, because I don't have any zeros. Oh, what an idiot. Dang it. I can't believe I did that. I really can't believe I did that. I literally fixed the sheet. I noticed halfway through designing the sheet that there was no zeros, and I fixed it. And somehow I still sent an old save of the file in. I should have just deleted that old save as soon as I fixed it. What a bonehead. Zero isn't real. Hey, there we go, Garrett. Zero isn't real on my freelance too, apparently, because I don't have anything with a zero number in it. A guy in an outhouse with sound. That's wild. I did see somebody the other day, might have been Adam, I don't know, posted in somebody's Discord that their NMRA division built a kit of a double-decker outhouse. Oh, wow. That, when I laughed, the decal went flying. Where did it go? Hello? Wow. There it is. Do an 8, but weather it, yeah. Oh, that's rough, Ray. Okay, now this decal is dried out. It's not laying. Let me get the boring stuff done here first and just do the end decal patch outs. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I can't stand doing end numbers on cars to the point where these end numbers may never go on. It's so tedious. I just can't stand it. Oh wow, that was a while ago. Yeah, I think I saw that you had posted it in Heath's Discord or something. But that's quite the comedic kit, that's for sure. Alright, so we need... Did I already put 47s in there? Nope, I didn't. If I had real forethought, I also would have included more 4s and 7s in this set than I did. But it's okay, because this is supposed to be for multiple sets of cars that, you know, had the same font, but not necessarily the same numbering series. That should be all the numbers we need to do this side of the car. Get the logo too. Time we got 8:45. I don't know that we're gonna make it all the way through all 3 of these cars, but hopefully we will. Alright, and then this one's getting hot pink graffiti. So I'm going to get that going here too. I am really impressed with one thing with these graffiti sets, and that's that I made all of these little like paint drips coming off of it, and they actually do show through pretty well. I can show you on the bigger version of it, but it came through pretty well, so I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. Oh, I can already see the W curling from the reporting mark. I think after using a bunch of these fusion scale decals now, actually, you know what, honestly, this is the only set that I've had that's kind of had this problem with the curling. The locomotive decal set that I had did not have this problem. It wasn't really a curling issue. In fact, I got super long pinstripes to go on really well. So I don't know why it would just be this set that's kind of having these issues, but seems to be. yeah, I will reveal, I think I mentioned it earlier in the stream already anyway, but there's 2 more cars on the way to be turned into freelance covered hoppers. And let's just say Brandon and a lot of other D&H modelers are gonna cry when they see these cars. Just because I am low-key defacing one of the fan favorites from the D&H in order to turn them into freelance salt cars. And they're going to be some of the original cars in the salt fleet, so me modeling 2005, they are going to be in incredibly rough shape, barely hanging on to service sort of situation. Fine Sharpie for zeros, yeah. Oops. Okay, why am I right-clicking on everybody? I'm trying to scroll back down through the comments. I think that's my gloves away. It's got me right-clicking on everybody. I'm going to accidentally ban somebody here if I'm not careful. Could be, maybe it's humidity, maybe it's older paper, I'm not sure. Stop hauling salt. Oh, that's part of the story, Joey, is that these particular cars, you know, the D&H was known for their cost cutting and, you know, experimental things. So the story goes that they put these somewhat new grain cars in salt service for the winter, so they kept turning wheels and making money, and they just ended up never making it back out of salt service. But as you can see by these aluminum-sided Magors, they clearly learned their lesson and started buying cars better suited for salt service very quickly. And it'll have only been a handful of the D&H cars that ended up in salt service early in life. Okay, there's that. Nice. Okay, logo. Good there. Didn't miss much, Dennis. Just me bemoaning the fact that for some reason these decals are curling up a little bit. I don't think it should be humidity, just because, I mean, the dehumidifier is actively running behind me and I keep it, you know, between 50 and 60% down here. Let's see, I'm gonna want that there. Oh, this is so thin too. Nope, I'm gonna move that. Ooh, this is very thin and very challenging to be working over these ribs. this is going to go once it lays flat. I wonder if I should go up to one of these bigger sizes. Nah. We'll see how this lays. If I need to take it off, I will. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm going to leave it kind of like that. Yeah, I'm lucky enough that my my basement stays relatively dry. Dehumidifier, you know, doesn't run constantly. I think I'm gonna like the way that looks. Yeah, dehumidifier doesn't run constantly, and you know, my basement is so dry that the sump crock, I don't even have a sump pump in. It's never needed one in the entire time I've owned the house. Well, the entire time my family has owned the house, because I think I've mentioned it before on the channel, but I'm actually the third generation of my family to own this particular home. So the entire time, my great-grandparents built it, and the entire time it's been in the family, I don't think it's ever had a sump crock in, because the basement's been so darn dry. We're towards the top of a hill, so drains pretty well down the road. Yeah, just in case, right? Especially with all these, you know, once-in-a-lifetime storms we keep getting. I digress. Maybe for the next car, we'll go up into like the 4800s for that car. Just to, you know, kind of show that there's more than 100 of these cars kind of in the pool. I don't know if... do I want there to be more than... I think so, probably. Because in theory, there's, you know, a lot of these out there. Okay, I got the 4. Did I get the 6 already? Yep. Didn't get the 6. No, I didn't need a 6. That's... Oh, Eve. No. Okay. I'm confusing the heck out of myself now. Sorry, guys. I do need a 6. Okay. Got the 4, got the 6, need the 7. And the 9. Okay, and then I just need a logo. Okay, and then we're done with decals for this car. Gee, folded over on me again. Come on. Can I save it? Okay. Looks like I can. Good. So I think we're going to run a little bit long tonight because I do want to get this card done at least. Oops. Ooh, I might have seen some posts about that on Facebook, I think, Dennis. Is it somebody that's posting stuff on Facebook at all? Oh, come on. Well, thanks for coming, Joey. Appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for the kind words as well. Look forward to eventually getting one of these running on your layout as an interchange car for sure. Oops, wrong side of the car. But yeah, so eventually I think I would love to get some more of these not graffiti decals printed and kind of just you know, get them distributed to other people who are interested in having them on their cars on their own layout. Just kind of as a signifier that they've been interchanged with Genesee Wyoming Transportation at one point in their lives. Apparently I need to fix this the decal sheet issue first though, because something did not print right. But we'll make use of everything we got out of the set. I think we're looking pretty good there. I get it, Garrett. I enjoy talking trains in real life too, for sure. It's about the only thing I enjoy talking in real life. I don't really talk about it much, but I'm a pretty big introvert in real life. But all my train friends would never even realize it, because once I get talking about it, can't stop. right? I think so. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. All right, so let's get a coat of microsol on everything else on this. Car. I feel you, Garrett. I feel you. Okay, that's an initial coat of microsol on this one. And there's just one left to do, but I think we're gonna call it a night on the stream, and I'll probably work on this one off camera. Yeah, thank you guys very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. We've got, like I said, we got 2 of these done. Made some good progress on other projects on the workbench as well. Got the ditch lights prepped and ready to go. And yeah, Adam, I'll have to check in on that the glue remover that you mentioned as well. See if it's something that's going to work for me. Hopefully it will, because I'd like to salvage the paint underneath that thing for sure. So see what happens. Yeah, be sure to tune in to Dennis's stream starting at 9:30 tonight. Sounds like he's got some fun stuff to work on. I don't know if he's gonna spoil the surprise that, you know, he's working on or not, but we'll see what he does. Anyway, guys, thank you very much, as always, for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everybody.